1. Your life is now. We keeping waiting for that amazing thing to happen in the future that will be the key to our happiness. 2. Fear is an illusion mostly. But this is it. Your life is right now. Life continues to be a series of right nows. So learn to love your life right now and you'll have an amazing life. Most of the things we fear never happen, or if they do happen, they are rarely as bad as we fear they will be. For most of us, fear is the worst thing that will happen to us. Reality isn't as painful. 3. Relationships rule. At the end of the day, what matters most in life are the people in our lives. Put them first every single day. Before work, before the computer, before your hobbies. Treat them like they are your everything because they are. 4. Debt isn't worth it. Nothing is more draining and humiliating than being in debt. Buying things you can't afford might give you a short-term buzz, but in the long run, it's extremely stressful. Spend below your means, save money. Wait until you can afford it. Live a debt-free life. 5. Your kids aren't you. You are the vessels to bring your children into the world and their caretakers until they can care for themselves. You can teach them, love them, and support them, but you can't change them. They are unique individuals who must live their own lives and learn from their own mistakes. Let them. 6. Things gather dust. Time and money spent accumulating material things will one day irritate you. You have to clean, maintain, store, and move stuff. The less stuff you have in your life, the freer you are. Purchase mindfully. Simplify. Declutter your life. 7. Fun is underrated. How much of your daily life is fun? Really fun? Life is short. You should enjoy it. Don't make things serious that don't have to be. Create more fun in your life. Don't worry about what other people think of your fun. Just enjoy it. 8. Failure is good. We try so hard to avoid failure, but failure is the real evidence that we've had the courage to try. If you avoid failure, you avoid taking action. Expect and accept that failure is part of the experience. Learn from it, grow from it, and move on. 9. Friendships need care. One of the top 5 regrets of the dying is that they let their friendships fade away. Friendships need time and attention. They need to be prioritized not just in word, but in deed. Nurture them like a prized garden. The payoff is so worth it. 10. Prioritize experiences. The pleasure and positive memories afforded by great experiences far outweigh material things. If you're trying to decide between the new sofa or the family trip, take the trip every time. Save and plan for new adventures and meaningful experiences. Don't just dream about them, make them happen. 11. Anger isn't worth it. The feel-good release of anger lasts a few minutes. The repercussions last far longer. Regret, stress, and unhappiness are the byproducts of angry outbursts. Learn healthier ways to communicate your feelings, and when anger arises, step away until it dissipates. 12. Kindness matters. Small expressions of kindness have an enormous positive impact on other people and on your own happiness. It doesn't take much to be kind. Practice it every day of your life in every situation until it's your natural way of being. 13. Age is a number. When you're 20, you think 50 is old. When you're 50, you feel 30. When you're 70, 50 looks like adolescence. Our chronological age doesn't have to define us. Don't allow a number to hold you back or prevent you from being the person you are inside. Just be the person you are inside. 14. Vulnerability heals. Being real, open, and vulnerable invites people in and allows them to relate to you on a much deeper and more intimate level. Vulnerability, practiced with safe and loving people, can heal emotional pain and strengthen relationships. Let down your walls and connect. It's surprisingly liberating. 15. Posturing builds walls. Creating a persona to impress or shield yourself from pain diminishes intimacy and authenticity. People generally see through this, and it pushes them away. And you look like a fool. 16. Exercise is power. Exercise should be a daily priority for everyone. It makes you physically, mentally, and emotionally stronger. It improves your health and your outlook. It is the panacea for just about everything. 17. Grudges cause pain. Holding on to a grudge is like injecting poison into your body every day. Forgive and let go. There's no other way. If your ego is preventing you from forgiving and letting something go, then tell your ego to take a hike. It's getting in the way of your hap. 18. Passion upgrades life. When you find that thing you love to do with all your heart, every day feels like a gift. If you haven't found your life passion, make it your mission to find it. The joy it brings you spills over into all aspects of your life. 19. Travel expands you. Travel makes you a more interesting, insightful, and accepting person. It expands you, enlightens you, and teaches you about the variety of people, lifestyles, and cultures. It is a pursuit well worth saving for 20. You aren't always right. We think we have the answers and know what's right and wrong, good and bad, and best for ourselves and other people. But we aren't always right. There's always more than one version. There are many perspectives that are valid. Always remember this life teaching and keep yourself open to that truth. 21. It will pass. Whatever is causing you worry or pain right now won't cause you worry and pain forever. Time heals. Things change. It will pass. 22. You define meaning. A meaningful life is what you define it to be. If you neglect to define meaning for your life, you won't experience it. Decide what makes life worth living for you, and then design your life around that. 23. Risk expands you. To make a positive change in your life, you often must take a risk. You must tolerate some level of uncertainty. Taking thoughtful, calculated risk strengthens your change muscle and helps you grow. 24. Change is good. Life is change. We shouldn't resist it. Remaining stagnant is in opposition to the natural order of life. Flow with change, embrace it, and regard it as an adventure. 25. Thoughts aren't real. Every moment of the day we have random thoughts floating through our brains. Many of the thoughts are negative and limiting. You don't have to believe them. They aren't the truth or the whole truth. Thoughts can become our reality, but only if we let them. 26. You can't control others. We want people to think and behave as we do. We want them to accommodate us and live the way we think they should live. We want to change them. But with awareness, we realize we can't and shouldn't try to control others. Instead, embrace differences and honor the uniqueness of the people in your life. 27. Your body is a temple. We all have something, or many somethings we hate about our bodies. But your body houses your very essence. Treat your body with respect and care for the efficient and wondrous way it takes care of you. Even if there are parts of your body you don't like, focus on your body with a sense of love and gratitude. 28. Touch heals. Physical touch is healing and intimate. It bonds us to other people and relieves stress and anxiety. It has a myriad of health benefits, such as lowering heart rate and improving the immune system. Mindful, loving touch with those you love is a gift that should be shared. 29. You can handle it. Whatever you think you can't handle, you actually can. You have more strength, more resilience, and more inner wisdom than you give yourself credit for. You'll get through it and survive, and maybe even be better for it. 30. Gratitude multiplies happiness. Consciously focusing on all you have rather than thinking about what you don't have is a far better use of brain power. Gratitude fosters positivity and well-being. 31. Intuition counts. Your judgment is important, but your intuition supercharges your judgment. Intuition is data from your subconscious mind, based on your past experiences and patterns in life. It can arise spontaneously when you are called on to make a decision or need information. 32. Please yourself first. Pleasing others for approval and acceptance might feel good in the short term, but eventually, you will lose yourself and feel resentful. Please yourself first and give to others based on conscious choice, not the desire for approval or feelings of guilt. 33. Self-honesty is freedom. When you are in denial about something, you are blinding yourself to the truth. Even if the truth is temporarily painful, it will ultimately set you free. Be radically honest with yourself so you can live authentically. 34. Perfection is boring. Perfection is unattainable, and the pursuit of it makes us boring. It is our differences, our foibles, and our imperfections that connect us to humanity and make us real. 35. Serving creates meaning. If you want fulfillment in your life, start with serving others. Find a way to make a difference, even a small difference, and your life will feel purposeful. 36. Little things matter. It's not the big wins, the great accomplishments, or your status in life that really count. It's the accumulation of little things. The quiet moments in nature, special time with our kids, seeing the smile on your spouse's face when you walk in the door. Pay attention to these things. 37. Learning is forever. There is so much to learn and explore in our very short lifetimes. Take advantage of learning every single day. Challenge yourself to acquire a new skill. Read something different. Take a class. Learning keeps our minds engaged and sharp even into old age. 38. Aging happens. Our bodies age. It is a truth we can't avoid. You can manage to age well by doing the best with what you've got. Beyond that, do your best to let it go. Enjoying life is the best antidote to getting older. 39. Marriages change. The person you married will change over time. You will change over time. Hopefully, you will change in the same direction or come to love the changes in the other person. Don't let these changes take you by surprise. If the changes start to pull you apart, take action as soon as possible to heal the rift. 40. Worry is worthless. Worry is useful only if it leads directly to a solution, but the very nature of worry implies that it doesn't. You worry about what-ifs that aren't real, and the worry itself creates stress and physical symptoms that cause real reasons for angst. Learn how to manage your worried thoughts. 41. Heal your wounds. Don't allow pain from your past or present to linger and cause you suffering. Don't stuff it down or pretend it doesn't matter when it does. Seek support from a professional trained to help you heal and renew your emotional health. 42. Simple is better. A life full of complications, obligations, and an overwhelming schedule makes life more difficult and stressful. A simpler life, in all regards, gives you more space for joy, authenticity, and engagement. 43. Do the work. If you want something in life, you must do the work to get it. There are rarely shortcuts. But fortunately, the work is what affords the most sense of accomplishment. The process is more engaging than the outcome. 44. It's never too late. This is an excuse for not trying. Great things can be accomplished at any age. Telling yourself otherwise is a sure way to remain stuck and frustrated. 45. Action beats angst. Action is the cure for worry, procrastination, indecision, anxiety, and frustration. Stop thinking and do something, and you will create momentum that leads to something valuable, or at the least heals your turmoil. 46. Creation beats reaction. Be proactive in your life, designing exactly what you want rather than reacting to what life throws at you. Creation empowers you and expands your opportunities. Reacting disempowers you and diminishes your choices. 47. Release attachments. Don't become too attached to outcomes or beliefs. Remain open to all possibilities and ideas. You will be surprised how much more there is to life when you don't cling to your beliefs, opinions, and things. 48. Words matter. The words you speak have power. Consider your words carefully. Use them for good rather than harm. Once they are out, you can't take them back. 49. Make every day count. If you live to age 90, how many days do you have left? It is a finite number, and one day you will reach that last day. Remain conscious of the value of every single day. Ask yourself every morning, what can I do to make today count? 50. Love is the answer. Love is why we are here. It is the force for good in this often random, painful, and harsh world. Share it freely. Express it daily. Use it as your lodestar. Inspirational life lessons for kids, 51. You deserve respect. Just because you're a child doesn't mean you shouldn't be treated with respect. Respect means others show you kindness and care. They listen to you and value you for the person you are. 52. Sharing feels good. Sometimes it's hard to share your things with other people. You might fear that by sharing, you may lose something, or someone might take advantage of you. But sharing feels good because you are showing the other person that you care and want them to enjoy what you are enjoying. Being generous this way makes you like yourself even better. 53. Challenges are good things. When something is hard and challenging, you may not want to do it. It's much easier to do something that is simple and fun. But challenging things help your brain become stronger and teach you new skills. The more challenges you tackle, the easier it becomes to take on the next one. 54. Growing up isn't so hard. When you're a child, thinking about becoming a grown-up can be scary. You might wonder how you'll ever be able to do what grown-ups do. You might wish you never have to grow up because it looks so hard. But growing up happens slowly with the help and support of your parents and other caring adults. You don't need to worry about it. 55. Manners matter. Learning good manners makes a difference in how other people perceive you and helps you succeed in school and life. Helping others, saying please and thank you, holding the door for someone, taking turns, and cleaning up after ourselves are examples of manners that other people notice and like. 56. Stand up for yourself. It's hard to feel strong and brave when someone bullies you or gossips about you. When other children are unkind, or when you are left out, you may feel uncomfortable speaking up. But you can stand up for yourself by letting others know how their words and behaviors make you feel, and that you don't like being treated this way. 57. Do hard things first. This is a hard life lesson for children and adults. We want to put off the things that are hard and do the easy, fun things first. But the longer you delay the hard things, the harder they become. When you put things off, you might not have enough time to complete them when you are supposed to. Get the hard things, like homework and chores, out of the way first so you can enjoy the things you like to do without worry. 58. Think good things about yourself. When you think of yourself as smart, strong, happy, and attractive, you will become more of these things. But if you think negative things about yourself, you will feel bad and unhappy. Work on having positive thoughts and speak positively about yourself, and you can change how you feel. 59. Have big dreams. You can achieve just about anything you set your mind to. Wake up every morning with an idea and think about how you want to make it happen. Have some goals about what you want to do in school and once you become an adult. Having life goals and dreams helps you make them real. 66. It's okay to ask questions. You may feel embarrassed or too shy to ask a question in school or with an adult. Maybe you think asking questions means you aren't smart or shows that you don't know everything. But even adults don't know everything, and asking questions is the best way to learn. Asking questions isn't dumb, but instead shows that you are curious and eager to learn. It shows how smart you are to want to know more. 67. Talk about your fears and worries. There's a lot going on in the world that can be scary and upsetting. Sometimes things happen at school or with friends that are confusing or hurtful. Or maybe you've done something you shouldn't have done, and you feel guilty and bad. Holding these feelings inside can make things even worse. Worry and fear can even make you feel sick. But talking about your feelings with your parents or another safe adult makes you feel better and helps you understand your emotions. Even if you're worried your parents will get mad, it's better to talk to them than to bottle up or hide what's inside of you. 68. It's okay to cry. Crying is another way to release your negative feelings. It doesn't mean you are weak or a baby. In fact, tears help you release stress chemicals in your body and make you feel calmer. Boys especially need to accept that their tears are perfectly normal and acceptable. 69. Your grades aren't as important as your character. Of course, you and your parents are proud when you make good grades. Working hard in school is important and will help you with your future goals, but your character is more important than your grades. You should never cheat to make good grades, and your grades are not as valuable to you or others as your honesty, kindness, and integrity. Life lessons for young adults. Life isn't always fair. Life will hand you difficult and sometimes terrible circumstances. You may feel like you've somehow been singled out for punishment, or that the world is out to get you. But over time, you'll discover that life isn't always fair for you or anyone. The sooner you accept that, the easier it will be to move past difficult times and handle them more gracefully. 72. Your happiness is your responsibility. No one else is to blame for your problems, and no one else can make you happy. It's completely up to you to figure out how to solve your problems and what you need in life to feel satisfied and content. Be independent before you marry. Before you get married or live with someone for the long term, be sure that you can stand on your own 2 feet emotionally and financially. Don't depend on a love partner to fulfill you or take care of you. Learn to be self-sufficient and independent before you settle down. 74. Take care of your body. The investment you put into your health and fitness now will pay off in spades as you get older. Don't take your health for granted, assuming it's fine to abuse your body with drugs, alcohol, smoking, and being sedentary because you're young. Many older people look back with regret and wish they had taken better care of their bodies when they were your age 75. Don't try to please everyone. This is an impossible goal to achieve. Not everyone will approve of you, agree with you, or even like you. Stay true to yourself, find your tribe, and accept that you can't please everyone. Trying to will only make you crazy. 76. It's not always about you. When you encounter someone who is unpleasant, rude, or critical, quite often this person is dealing with their own issues and projecting them onto you. Don't allow the bad behavior or negative temperament of someone else drag you down. Remember that it's not always about you and isn't a reflection of your character or abilities. 77. Make your bed daily. If you can develop this morning habit and do it every day when you get out of bed, you have set yourself up for success throughout the day. It's a small accomplishment that sets the tone for the entire day, encouraging you to complete other tasks and goals you want to achieve. 78. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is being present in the here and now and savoring the moment. Rather than dwelling in the past or fretting about the future, you are focused on exactly what you are doing with full attention. Mindfulness prevents anxiety and regret and gives you the mental and emotional bandwidth to enjoy life without mental distractions. 79. Character matters. Having good character and living your life in alignment with your integrity sets you apart and gives you a foundation for making the best decisions and choices. Good character traits like honesty, loyalty, responsibility, and perseverance should be an essential component of your identity if you want to feel good about yourself and gain the respect of others. 80. Tip well. Whether or not you've worked in a restaurant, you know how hard servers work and how they rely on tips for much of their income. Never skip out on tipping a server or leave an insulting amount of money for a tip. If the service is average, tip 15%. Tip 20% for service that is better than average. Tipping well communicates to your server that you appreciate their efforts. 81. Everything in moderation. You don't need to get drunk to enjoy social drinking or starve yourself in order to have the perfect body. If your mental health is suffering because you're pulling all-nighters to have a 4.0 GPA, then your life is out of balance. Or if you're not studying because you're on social media all the time, something's amiss. It's easy to fall into habitual or even addictive patterns that are unhealthy. The old adage, everything in moderation, can be your mantra to help you create boundaries to protect yourself from overdoing it in any area of your life. 2. Find your community. As a young adult, this is the time you're discovering yourself and who you are. Look around you to see if the company you keep reflects the person you are or want to be. If not, find a community of like-minded people who support you and inspire you to be your best. 83. The internet is forever. If you put it out there, It stays out there. In 5, 10, or 20 years, do you want that picture of you drunk at a party? Or the not-so-professional comments you shared in a weak moment to reflect your character? As Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." Use the space before you hit enter to consider what you put online and how it might impact you in years to come. 84. You are not entitled. It doesn't matter where you grew up, how successful your parents are, the color of your skin, or how attractive you may be. You aren't entitled to anything special as a result. You may have a leg up because of these things, but your response to this should be gratitude for the gifts you've been given rather than entitlement because you have them. Life has a way of showing us that the gifts we were born with don't compare to the effort we expend and the gratitude we express along the way. 85. Be the change you want. You are the future. You are in charge of building the world that you want. Don't complain about what past generations have done or the legacy they have left. Get busy being the change you want to see. 86. Save money. If you want to build wealth and live a comfortable life, save money every month. Learn to delay gratification and prioritize putting money away before you spend on non-essentials. If you start at age 25 saving $100 a month at a 7% return rate, you'll have a nest egg of $343,000 at age 70. If you save $200 a month, you'll have $767,000 when you retire. 87. Your problems aren't unique. It's true that young adults today suffer more anxiety and depression than the previous generation, and it may seem your problems are unique and more challenging than those faced by past generations. But each generation has faced turmoil, defeat, and calamities. What matters is not who has it the hardest, but rather how can you learn to cope with the inevitable challenges of life. Fortunately, you have more resources than ever available to you online and with counseling, coaching, and other helping professions. 8. Pursue adventures now. If you long to travel or want to follow a career passion that isn't as certain as that accounting job, do it now before you have family commitments or time restrictions that prevent you. Use this adventure time to expand yourself and your interests, meet new people, and make valuable connections for the future. Take on a part-time gig to support your travels or your passion if need be. 89. Be prepared for opportunity. If you want to move ahead in your career, you need to set yourself up for success. That requires being prepared when opportunities arise. Learn as much as you can about your career field and know what you want your next move to be. Learn additional skills that will make you more of an asset. Keep your resume updated and your interview skills polished. 90. Prove your worth. Show the people you work for that you are worth every penny they have invested in you. Do more than is asked of you. Initiate new ideas that support your company's mission. Show up early and stay late at times. Be prepared and on time for meetings and events. 91. Stay professional. There will always be conflict and difficult personalities in any job. But rather than allowing these challenges to frustrate you and compel you to lose your cool, do your best to remain professional in these situations. Be the steady and thoughtful anchor when others around you are behaving unprofessionally. Have goals. Know what you want in your career and have a vision for how you are going to get there. Don't allow the winds of fate to determine your professional future. Become the captain of your destiny and work toward achieving what you want. 93. Build connections. You never know who can support, sponsor, and promote you along the way. Build relationships with all sorts of people and show them that you value their work and contributions. 94. Focus on results, not activity. Being busy at work doesn't necessarily mean you are being productive. Know what you are working toward and what your organization is trying to achieve. Spend your time and energy where you'll get the most results that benefit you and your company. 95. Find mentors. Seek out someone who is doing what you want to do, who has more experience and insights. Study that person and learn as much about his or her career path as possible. Find a way to support that person and, if possible, spend time with them so you can learn from them. 96. Control digital temptations. Just about every job involves time on a computer and smartphone. These valuable work tools can also be huge distractions. Make it a priority to resist the temptations of social media, email checking, and news surfing so you don't lose focus and time on the job. 97. Give credit to others. Look for opportunities to let others shine in the spotlight and give credit when credit is due. Yes, you must promote yourself at times, but you will gain more respect when you honor and support the people around you as well. 98. Listen more than talk. We all love the sound of our own voices, but you'll learn more by listening than talking. When you listen more, you prevent yourself from saying something dumb or not well considered. You also gain more knowledge and information. Then when you do speak, people will really listen. 99. Diversify your knowledge. You don't want to stagnate in your job because you are pigeonholed in one area or skill. Take the initiative to learn new skills or get more education or training to make you a more valuable and marketable employee. 100. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. In a world of instant gratification, it's hard to wait for success in your career. But most people don't find career success until they put in many years of effort and hard work. Rather than delaying your happiness until you've reached the pinnacle, find joy in achieving small wins and milestones along the way. Find fulfillment in the process of success, rather than just the culmination. 101. Learn your boss's job. You're not trying to get rid of your boss, but rather to be prepared if the time comes for someone to replace him or her. Observe what your boss does daily and how he or she does it. Ask to take on some of your boss's responsibilities with supervision. Find ways to make your supervisor's work life easier and more productive. As you become more invaluable, others will see you as next in line. 102. Be a positive influence. There may be parts of your job you hate, or you may find your coworkers or even your supervisor difficult or unpleasant. But rather than complaining or joining others in kvetching about the work or your organization, be a positive and calm force who doesn't complain or gossip. 103. Dress for the job you want. These days, the office environment is more casual than in years past. Entry-level employees in particular may get by wearing jeans and other informal attire. Pay attention to the person whose job you'd like to have. What are they wearing? You don't need to dress like the CEO, but up your game by making your work wardrobe more polished and professional, even if your peers don't. 104. Be smart but ethical. If you are vying for that promotion or to lead the next project, your coworkers are likely doing the same thing. Everyone is competing to rise to the top, so be smart about your opportunities and distinguish yourself from others, but don't compromise your ethics to reach your goals. Your character speaks volumes to decision makers. 105. Be willing to do the hard things. Every job has its fair share of grunt work and difficult tasks. By avoiding them, they don't get easier or make you look professional. Tackle the tough stuff first and get it out of your mind so you have the bandwidth to work on more interesting things. 106. Don't always ask for permission. You're an adult and have a job that needs to be done. You don't need to ask permission for everything decision or action you take. Be a self-starter and try to find solutions on your own without first going to a supervisor. Get feedback from coworkers or other more senior staff if you need to. Show that you're capable of figuring things out without hand-holding. 107. Don't hold grudges. There may be people in your workplace who have offended or mistreated you. You may have been fired or not given a position you thought you deserved. Express your anger or resentment to your friends and family, but avoid holding grudges against those who've wronged you. You never know when you may meet up with this person again in your career, and you don't know if your negative comments might one day reach a future potential employer. 108. Learn to compromise. You can't be in a successful marriage or love relationship without compromising at times. The power dynamic can't be one-sided. You are partners who must learn the give and take required from being pair. 109. Forgiveness is powerful. Be quick to forgive and let go of minor issues. Try not to keep score or hang on to grudges. Don't allow resentment and anger to fester. It will destroy your relationship over time. 110. Love doesn't heal everything. The love between you is what brought you together and keeps your relationship alive. But love alone isn't enough to manage the challenges and issues you'll face as a couple. Good communication skills, patience, and kindness, among other things, are essential for a healthy relationship. 111. The relationship must come first. Your relationship must be your priority over your career, kids, extended family, or anything else. It should be the centerpiece of your life if you want all of the other aspects of your life to be happy and healthy. 112. Emotional abuse destroys intimacy. Immature behaviors, verbal attacks, passive aggressiveness, and control will undermine your closeness and the trust and respect between you. Avoid emotionally abused behaviors at all costs so you don't poison your love and intimacy. 113. Your identity doesn't depend on your partner. Your relationship is primary, but that doesn't mean you can't maintain your separate identities. Look to your spouse or partner as a partner, not someone you depend on to define you and make you whole. 114. Honor your love languages. Learn about the 5 love languages and how important they are to your relationship. Honor your partner's love language, and ask your partner to honor yours. You both need to be loved in the way that feels loving to you. 115. Communication is critical. You can't ignore problems or stop talking because you are angry or frustrated. If you do, resentments build and create bigger problems. Regular communication about conflict and difficult issues may be uncomfortable, but it ensures you clear the air and find solutions together. 16. Alone time is important. We all need time to ourselves, even in the most connected and intimate relationship. You both need time for self-reflection, reading, or just recharging. Giving that time to one another is a gift, and it doesn't mean you aren't bonded as a couple. In fact, it allows your bond to be stronger when you come. 117. Keep the spark. Romance and intimacy can diminish over time, so it's vital to your relationship that you work on keeping the spark alive. Plan dates together and find mutual interests that you can enjoy as a couple. Find ways to spice up your sex life so it doesn't become rote and boring. 118. Be present. A relationship is all about relating, and you can't relate if you are constantly distracted and disengaged. When you and your partner are together, be fully present for him or her. Put down your phone and turn off the TV. Take a walk together and talk about your day. Listen to your partner attentively and show him or her that you genuinely care about what they are sharing. If your life is busy, schedule time every day to be present for one another so that you don't drift into separate lives. 119. Never show contempt. Contempt is showing disdain, condescension, and disrespect toward your partner. It's a way of telling your partner you are better or smarter than they are. According to relationship expert Dr. John Gottman, contempt is the most destructive behavior between love partners. It erodes intimacy and ultimately kills the relationship. Contempt is an attitude you should never, ever have toward your partner or express to them. 120. Heal conflict quickly. If you allow conflict and discord to simmer for days or weeks unresolved, it becomes much more difficult to address. The problem grows in the minds of both of you, and what could have been resolved easily now takes more time and emotional energy. Or you may sweep a conflict under the rug, never addressing it at all, only to have resentment and anger undermine your closeness and trust. Address conflict as soon as you are both calm and able to talk as a team, putting the health of the relationship first. 121. Understand you won't change him/her. If you begin a relationship believing you can change the other person, you'll be in for a sad surprise. You may see qualities in your significant other you don't like and believe you can inspire him or her to let them go. But real change occurs when people have internal motivation to change. If you try to strong-arm change, your partner will resent you and feel they are never enough. 122. Be appreciative. One of the most common relationship complaints is the feeling that one partner takes the other for granted. The best way to remedy this issue is by both partners showing daily appreciation for one another. Be appreciative of who your partner is, what they bring to the relationship, and how they positively impact your life. Show gratitude for the small and large efforts your partner makes for you and your family. 123. Recognize your partner's not a mind reader. Never assume your spouse or significant other knows what you are thinking or feeling. He or she can't read your mind and shouldn't be expected to intuit your feelings and needs. Don't use passive-aggressive behaviors to hint at what you want or how you feel, even if you're uncomfortable expressing it. Speak directly and plainly if you want your partner to know and understand you. 124. Change happens. If you're in a relationship for the long haul, expect that your spouse or partner will grow and evolve over time. So will you. Sometimes you grow together, and sometimes you don't. Preparing yourself for the inevitable changes you both experience can help you navigate them as a team and keep your relationship solid. 125. Comparison creates animosity. Does someone else's husband or wife seem more successful, attractive, or attentive than yours? Do your neighbors live a more lavish lifestyle than you can afford? Comparing your situation or your spouse to another person's is a recipe for constant dissatisfaction and animosity between you. Spend your emotional energy on the positive aspects of your relationship and life, and you'll find that you are both happier. 126. Know when to let go. Hanging on to a relationship out of boredom, fear, loneliness, or guilt is not the foundation for a loving and close connection. If the relationship is broken, and you know it can't be fixed, then the best thing you can do for both of you is to let it go. Letting go doesn't mean you or your partner are failures. It reveals self-awareness and courage to say goodbye to someone you once loved when the connection no longer works. 135. Practice patience. You've seen impatient people who get angry and complain when they don't get what they want right away. It's an unattractive and off-putting quality that reflects selfishness and immaturity. It is hard to be patient, especially in this age of instant gratification. When you feel impatience boiling over, practice deep breathing and bring yourself back to the present moment. 136. Prioritize your family. In a hectic world, it's easy to neglect your family members and assume they will always be there for you. But you need to be there for them and continue to cultivate your relationship with them. Unless your family is toxic, they should be the most important people in your life. Maintain your close connection with your parents, siblings, and extended family members. They give you a sense of belonging, pass on traditions, and provide an invaluable support system. 137. Honor the dignity of all people. All people, no matter their race, religion, income, background, or age, should be treated with respect and dignity. You are no better than others, and no one is better than you. People may be different in many ways, but everyone deserves courtesy and kindness. 138. Support social justice and human rights. You may not be an activist, but you can support fairness in wealth, opportunities, and basic needs. You can speak out about equality, gender discrimination, racism, and educational opportunities. Begin by educating yourself on these matters, examining your own opinions and beliefs, and using social media to educate others. If you want to take action, volunteer your time for a cause you support, or join a protest or demonstration. As humans, it is our obligation to look out for one another and correct injustices in society. 139. Develop self-discipline. Self-discipline or willpower is a learned practice that builds your inner strength and character. It helps you overcome temptations that stand in the way of your goals or undermine your relationships. With self-discipline, you learn to tolerate emotional discomfort for a greater good. 140. Practice discretion. Discretion is the practice of keeping private or sensitive information to yourself. If someone shares a secret with you, you don't talk about it with others. If you are privy to information at work, you don't show it to others or leave it where people can see. Discretion is a way of showing respect for other people, weighing whether or not sharing would cause harm to them. 141. Be a role model. Set an example as a positive role model of good character, and you can help shape a future generation of young people. When you demonstrate integrity, leadership, respect, positivity, and humility, you make others want to be better people. The added benefit is that you become a better person yourself. 142. Keep your composure. Are you able to remain calm and in control of yourself during stressful or upsetting situations? Maintaining composure and keeping your emotions in check is one of the most difficult acts of self-discipline. But practicing composure allows you to make thoughtful and clear decisions and prevents you from doing or saying something you'll later regret. 143. Return favors. If someone has gone out of their way for you or extended a kindness, find a way to do the same for them. Don't allow favors from others to pile up without extending yourself and showing your appreciation. 144. Revere your reputation. As Will Rogers famously admonished, it takes a lifetime to build a good reputation, but you can lose it in a minute. You can damage your professional reputation by doing something unsavory in your personal life. You can ruin it by unethical or compromising actions in your professional life. Guard your reputation with attentive care. You may be remembered for the one bad thing you do, rather than all the good you've done in the past. 145. Stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Throughout your life, you'll encounter people who don't have the ability, power, knowledge, or money to stand up for themselves. Vulnerable people appear in all walks of life and can be victims of fate, circumstance, or people. If you see an injustice or an opportunity to help someone who can't help themselves, view it as a calling from your higher self to step up. You help not just to help the other person, but also because it is universally the right thing to do. 1. The most important life lesson: family. I have been a believer that life has its ways of teaching us lessons. What our schools could not teach us despite efforts and discipline, life teaches us all of that with ease. I read and heard in the news about people losing their family members due to various reasons or getting separated from them. It gave me the realization of how fortunate I was to be with my family during these tough times. I understood how blessed I was to wake up every day and have my parents and brother in front of my eyes, all in good health too. Water is vital for your body. I have always been a lazy lad. Self-care seemed like a task to me. You know, the preparation, the application, and the gradual results that follow. I was just too impatient for it. But then came 2020, the official year of life lessons and teachings. With the circumstances this year brought along, it became important to do the bare minimum to keep yourself safe. And I found my safety in the water. This might sound immature to you, but though I have read about the importance of water so many times, I began implementing it recently, and to my surprise, it worked wonders. Not just for my skin, but for my body too. So, after you end this read, go and drink water. 3. Stop wasting your time. Time is slipping out of your hands. You cannot hold it and make it stay, no matter how strongly you close your fist. Just like sand, it will pass away. So, don't wait for the right time in your life. There exists nothing like that. This is the lesson I have learned. All you have is now. Make the most of it. 4. No dream is too small. It will seem like a giant mountain until you begin to climb it. Once you do, you will enjoy the journey. Even the cuts and bruises you get on the journey won't seem painful. Why? Because you would have your reasons to keep climbing. You will just be greedy to reach the top and simply breathe with satisfaction. Life lessons I have started, climbing my mountain. Trust me, I have fallen many times. But as long as I have my reasons clear, I don't see making it happen any other way. Go and do it for nobody else, but for yourself. 5. The most truthful life lesson. Binging on OTTs won't pay my bills. The pandemic happened, everything shut down, and I wasted so many days binging on OTTs. I bet you would relate, searching for the new series to watch, discussing it with your friends over video calls and whatnot. I wasted a lot of my time. And then one day, drop it this bomb of realization. I realized how much time I was wasting and how cruel I was being to myself. I was finally awakened to understand that I am about to complete my education, and I cannot depend on my parents for my future. Therefore, I gradually lowered the time I spent binge-watching movies and series, and replaced the same time watching informational and knowledge-packed videos that landed me here today, to you, reading my words. 6. Self-investment is the best investment. If you wish to achieve your goals in life, work starts at home. You are not perfect. None of us are. Neither will ever be. But investing in yourself is the greatest return you will ever receive. Investment isn't always money. The most rewarding investment is your time. You ought to learn to invest your time wisely. You have to decide on the right kind of investment for yourself. Otherwise, a pandemic won't ever create a difference and you will be where you are. There is no greater enemy than stagnancy. Move and start working. 7. Value the time you spend with your loved ones. Only if we could predict life, how easier would it be? Only if we knew beforehand what the future carries, how smooth life would become. With 2020 knocking on our doors, I was so happy and excited that I will be completing my education this year. I was so pumped to spend the final semester with my friends and make tons of memories with them before I begin my hustle with life. But guess what? Life had different plans this year. Therefore, no college, no final memories, no farewell, and no proper goodbyes. All the plans just rest in a coffin now. So the life lesson here is to value the time you spend with your people. Capture them for tomorrow. Today's happy moments will bring a smile on the most difficult days of tomorrow. Value them while you have them. 8. Multiple streams of income aren't a luxury anymore. Life is too unpredictable. You may claim you have it all under your control, but life takes no time in turning the tables and making you realize otherwise. Out of everything we want and have, more than anything, money is the need. The pandemic was quick enough to throw this realization at our faces, that one source of income is not reliable to survive. Yes, survive and not live. Therefore, while you work on your goals to achieve your dreams, work on your mindset and your perception of life too. It is truly the need of the hour today, tomorrow, and for the rest of our lives. 9. The most obvious life lesson, survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. Does this remind you of something? Yes, you guessed it right. I am sure while reading Darwin's theory in high school, none of us would have ever thought about it coming to life. None of us, even in our wildest dreams, would have thought that life will experiment with our theory on us. And, in what way? A pandemic to test us. Seriously, universe? Fit doesn't only imply the strength of your muscles. In life, we got to be fit with our minds, our finances, our vision, with our work. But you don't have to get it all correct at once. We are humans. Let's just stay like that. Make mistakes, learn, evolve, and ultimately live. Not just survive. Live. 11. You are already rich. No, I don't refer to the dollars you have in your bank or the mansion you live in. One thing that this pandemic taught me is to be grateful for what I already have with me. When I say you are rich, yes you are. How? Here it goes. You have food on your table. You got a roof over your head. You are loved and cared for by a family. Trust me, you are the richest person alive if you have these basic necessities. Do you want something more from life? Work for it. But don't forget to thank God for all that you have. 12. Siblings are the real support system. They will fight with you on the smallest and silliest thing possible. They will eat your head with their nonsense, and they will ruin your existence in front of your parents and family. But if someone else tries to do the same to you, they will be the first ones to fight, save, and support you. My brother is younger than me. He has been handling his own business for 2 years now. I have wanted to do the same for 3 years, but I never showed the courage to take hold of my dreams. Procrastination is a real enemy of growth. Well, the pandemic allowed us to spend a lot of time together and share our dreams and goals. I've never confessed this before, but a huge part of my growth is credited to my brother. They say you are the company you keep. And being in my brother's company gave me all the push I needed to start working on my dreams. He is the one in the house who covertly supports me in my vision of being a successful writer. 13. Do not underestimate your potential. There is already a lot of judging and questioning your choices in life. You need not be an addition to that list. Be your critique, but never underestimate your potential. Start creating. You are so much more than you think. And you will realize it once you begin working on yourself. You will discover something new about yourself every day on your journey. Just begin it. Simply start, and things will eventually align for you. The universe works in your favor when you begin working for it. The law of attraction they talk about, trust me, it works. 14. Your skills will take you forward. We aren't living in an era when your degree is of prime importance. You can choose any field of work you want, but you won't move ahead if you lack the skills. No, you don't have to be perfect. Know this and remember it for your life. Perfection is a myth. Every successful individual starts from zero. You shall do the same. Begin your journey and upgrade your skills as you progress. It will reward you with the most satisfactory return on your investment. 15. The most sensible life lesson: self-care and self-love. Hey, I know you are working hard every single day. I know you are putting in a lot of effort. I know you are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your aim. But take good care of yourself, my friend. Learn to love yourself. I learned this lesson later in life. Remember, you will make it big if you stay healthy to work on your craft. Don't skip your sleep, take your meals properly, drink loads of water, and then continue your work. Your success shall have you all in good health to celebrate your achievements. And, while we are surviving in this pandemic, don't forget your mask. Your entire life can change in an instant, so instead of passively taking what you have for granted, be grateful for it and do whatever good you can with it. When I was 27, I flew off a bike and blacked out on the street. In an instant, I fractured my spine and tore the main ligament in my knee. In an instant, the entire trajectory of the next year of my life changed. Earlier this year, the third largest explosion in human history rocked my home city of Beirut. In an instant, 200 people lost their lives and 300,000 people became homeless. I could have easily been one of them. We often forget that death hangs over us. It lingers in the space we cannot touch, and in the blink of an eye, in the flash of a second, it can capture us and strip us bare of the most precious blessing of all, the gift of being alive. Your entire life can change in an instant, so stop taking what you have for granted. Instead, be grateful for it, and do whatever good you can with it. It's okay to feel lost sometimes. The truth is that you owe nothing to your younger self, but you owe everything to your present self. When I was younger, I used to think that feeling lost was something to be ashamed of. Now I realize it's the normal course of life because life is not a straight line that goes from A to B. It's a canvas of circles and waves, ups and downs, highs and lows. It's a journey of self-discovery and creation. We paint it with a set of colors and then restroke it with another. Life is transformative, so feeling lost is normal, and no matter how put together everyone around you seems, when you dig deeper, you'll realize that they're all just figuring it out as they go. Every business owner is constantly trying to figure out how to reach more customers. Every couple in a relationship is constantly trying to figure out how to keep it working. And every new parent is constantly trying to figure out how to maneuver their way through parenthood. Truth is, I've come to realize that feeling lost is a sign of growth. It means that the things you once valued are no longer the things that matter to you today. And do you know why? It's because you are no longer your younger self. When you were a kid, you set goals and dreams for who you thought you would want to become as an adult. But through time and novel experiences, your interests changed, and so did the way you think. Now I've realized that the previous ideas I had for my future self no longer resonate with the ideas I have for my present self today. The same applies to you. The person you are today is not responsible for being the person you once thought you would want to become. The person you are today is solely responsible for the adult you want to be today. You owe nothing to your younger self, but you owe everything to your present self. So it's okay to feel lost or feel like you don't know what you're doing with your life. You're not expected to have it all figured out because it's a process. What's important, however, is that you don't use being lost as an excuse to sit in stagnation. What's important is that you toil in the language of action, more than that of contemplation and thought. Action breeds more clarity than thought, so you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. How do you find out what you actually want in life? You lean into what you think you want and take action toward it. That's the best answer I can give you, because here's what I've learned. Action breeds more clarity than thought. I spent the majority of my teen years thinking that what I wanted to do with my time on Earth was to become a CEO of a multinational firm, until I joined a corporate conglomerate and realized that's not what I want. A few years later, I spent the majority of my time at Google, dreaming of becoming an entrepreneur and building the next big unicorn startup, until I launched my own company and realized that's not what I actually want. Action breeds more clarity than thought, because at the end of the day, you will only learn, improve, and figure it out by doing. You'll learn how to cook by cooking. You'll master the art of writing by sitting down to write every day. When you lean into your curiosity and walk the path, you will gain experience, and the answer to what you actually want will reveal itself to you as you work toward what it is you think you want. All you need, then, is a direction to move into. All you need is the where, not the how. Once you begin to walk the path and trust the process, the answers begin to reveal themselves to you, and the way begins to appear. That's why you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. Chasing happiness will lead you to misery until you realize that happiness is the way. A few years ago, at a campsite in a music festival, I met a woman in her early 30s who told me that she had yet to find happiness in her life, that she was still chasing and looking for it. Unfortunately, I used to think the exact same. Perhaps that's because modern society conditions us to believe that happiness is a destination we arrive at, the promotion that will wash away all our problems, or the freedom we will obtain from leaving a 9-to-5 job. So we now live with this idea. When X happens, I'll be happy. I lived the entirety of the past decade cultivating this toxic mentality, and it affected every major decision I made in my life. I was always chasing the next big thing, in constant pursuit of what's next, never truly indulging in the fullness of what I already had right here, right now. Here's what I want you to realize. Happiness is not a paradise island we must go looking for. No, happiness is a deep-rooted rose of contentment that you carry with you everywhere you go, and you are the one who chooses whether or not to water it every morning upon waking up. Your happiness and well-being have nothing to do with how well you think you're doing, how far into the journey you've crossed, or what's coming next. Your happiness and well-being have everything to do with how present, accepting, and content you are with all that is, right here, right now. As per the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. If you fail to appreciate this sentiment and continue to chase the big elusive dream of a distant happy future, then you'll never experience the self-worth and contentment that can be found in this very moment. And it doesn't take much to be happy. Practice being present. Write down what you're grateful for every morning. Be accepting of whatever happens, and do something every day that brings joy to your heart. These are some of the easy, simple, and practical pieces of advice on how to become happy. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, embrace these rules and apply them. Commitment is what gets you started. Consistency is what gets you somewhere. And persistence is what keeps you going. From the years of 24 to 28, I only talked about becoming an entrepreneur, but I never did. Why? Because back then, all I did was talk, but never do. So on my 29th birthday, I registered my first company. I committed to becoming an entrepreneur, and that changed the trajectory of my life. 1 year later, on my 30th birthday, I chose to become a writer. I committed to this new vocation, and over the course of that year, I built a system to help me stay consistent. Within 12 months, I published 140 online articles, which took me from 0 views to over 500,000, from 0 followers on Medium to over 6,100, and from 0 newsletter subscribers to over 1,500. What was my secret? I consistently wrote and published 2 to 3 articles per week. Even on the days when I didn't feel like writing, I forced myself to show up, sit on a chair, and write. If you want to change your life around, here's what you must do. Commit to one thing. We break down little by little, day by day, but we also take care of ourselves and build ourselves up, little by little, day by day. Why? Because your habits define you. What you do today is a reflection of who you will become tomorrow. There's a thin line standing between where you are today and where you will be tomorrow. The hinge that connects the two is the one small habit you repeat every single day. If you lean into bad habits or neglect the good ones, you will break down little by little, day by day, but if you practice good habits, you will build yourself up, little by little, day by day. In my first 6 months of entrepreneurship, I completely neglected myself. I stopped meditating, I stopped socializing, I stopped exercising, I stopped taking care of myself. The result? Sleepless nights of overthinking, constant frustration and worry, emotional turmoil and confusion. I was miserable. Fortunately, as soon as I became conscious of this self-sabotaging behavior, I vowed that I will never allow myself to fall this low ever again. Since then, I've incorporated 10 daily habits and still practice them to this day. They include, among others, a 15-minute daily morning meditation, gratitude journaling, daily stretching and exercise, and intermittent fasting. The reality is that every day we are faced with new challenges, some bigger and more catastrophic than others.